Westbrook does a great job of one-handed, left-handed pass. Stays straight, works on his side. He doesn't leave.
Trent Jr. is checked in. Warriors stay with the same 5 starters. And Steph Curry hitting the wing jumper. Yes, dropping in that 3. Oh, Curry, a little split. Step through it, Steph with the lift. So Steph Curry, beautiful beginning. And turnover. Pointer down. Free throw in the 3-point play. Curry right down the lane. How about that?
Welcome in everybody on this glorious Sunday morning. What better way to be than to be talking sports on a Sunday morning at 9 a.m., 9:15, whatever you want to call it, man. It's gorgeous out. Got the new haircut going. I don't have to wear a hat anymore, right? I'm sporting a little Indiana, little Jermaine O'Neal action, right? I like to flip up the jersey. Got my man Trot laying homage to my Philly Hall of Famer right there. In my eyes, Jeremiah Trotter, the Axeman, and man, it's feeling good, man. We had a good day yesterday. We're going to spank it up again this day. Yes, absolutely. What's up, Adam? What's up, Tony? 3 straight walk-offs for the Phillies. Gene Segura, 2 in a row, Adam. And guess what? The best thing, Gene Segura was the value play yesterday. Him and Bryce Harper. So I got the Philly love, I got the Philly win, and I got the fantasy aspect too. So I was happy. Joe, my guy, Joe, what's up, buddy? Yes. Mr. Jake Fraley. We're going to talk about that, right? FFVP hits again. Man, I love it, man. I love it. It went exactly as planned. A lot of things we talked about yesterday doesn't always work out, right? You can't be perfect, but listen, if you could be above 50%, we're riding high, and I think that's what happened yesterday. So, yeah, I'm telling you. And you know what, Joe? He's only still 2,900 today. Fraley's still only 2,900 today. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. Now, on Sunday, we like to mix it up. Again, Tony Jigsaw Cutillo, Fantasy Firebox. Give me a follow at TCutillo23. Give the boys at Win Daily Sports to follow on all social platforms. Get up and get the subscription going to the YouTube page, to the Discord channel, to the website. Man, we got all kinds of stuff going on, especially on a Sunday. And for the first time ever, your guy, Tony Jigsaw Cutillo, is going to be on Sirius tonight with the boys for a little segment. So, listen, you know, they've been asking me for a while, and I'm a youth sports coach. I coach a lot of soccer. So, soccer's finally come to an end. So, now the weekends can finally get to a little bit of normalcy. I can get a break a little bit. So, listen, you may hear me popping off on Sirius on Saturday and Sundays, you know, for the very near future. So tonight, can't wait to mix it up with the boys tonight. It's going to be fun. Talking a little NFL season long. We're going to talk a little NFL today, right? And Joe says Sunday is for the boys. You know what? I need somebody to tell my wife that, because she's going to be busting my ass today in about 45 minutes, and I'm doing some more landscaping. Let me tell you something. You know, that's going to get me on a little rant, because we talk about that every now and then. Before we review last night, just a couple minutes. I want to give a shout out to all the landscapers out there, because I'm going to tell you something right now. That is some hard goddamn work. There's a reason why me personally am not a landscaper. Okay, I laid about 42 bricks yesterday and pavers with sand and gravel base. I could barely get out of bed this morning. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, I am not gonna lie. I got up, my legs hurt, my back hurt, my arms hurt. Man, I'm a middle-aged man. I shouldn't be doing that. right? I shouldn't be doing that. And again, I wake up today, I figure, all right, today's going to be break day, right? Nope. You know what? She likes it so well, she wants to do more. So half the day, I'm going to be outside humping again, but it's all good, man. It could be worse. I just know I'll never be a landscaper in another lifetime. Sia says, was the Flying Dutchman? Nah, no Flying Dutchman today. But I will tell you this, it should be a Reggie Miller jersey. So I actually got this gifted to me because I liked everybody knew I like to get the 1A, 1B player, right? I never got the 1A, I always got like the 1B. So Jermaine O'Neal was one of my players that somebody got me the jersey for. But Rick Smith's is a good one, man. Number 45. The Flying Dutchman, man. Oof. I tell you what, people sleep on Rick Smith, see. I think you know that as well as I do. I don't think these young boys out there realize how good Rick Smith's really was. Because I'll tell you what, Indiana, they had some ballers, man. And you know what? Real fast, the thing about Indiana that I love that a lot of people forget because they never won it all because they played in that Jordan era, right? But that team with Reggie Miller and the Davis brothers, with Antonio Davis, with Dale Davis, Detlef Shrimp. I mean, they had a lot of cats on that team that really knew how to ball, and they didn't get a lot of credit. So, again, the Indiana Pacers were a problem back in the day. Adam checking in says, looks like Jesus Aguilar for the Marlins could be a good pick because he's facing. Listen, Smiley, huge hard contact rate against Smiley, 5.2 ERA. Smiley is not getting. I do have a couple Marlins in the lineup today. So, let's talk a little baseball because we're going to go. We usually on Sundays go about 45. I want to get some tight end talk in as well, okay, for NFL because I think the tight end position is really shaping up to be very interesting, whether it be season long or streaming options or DFS. But let's look at this right before we start to share the screen here. And I gotta tip my hat, right? I gotta tip my hat to my man. We called it out there. Jake Fraley. Okay, Joe, we cashed in $2,800. FFV play today, Fantasy Firebox value play today. That was yesterday. It was Jake Fraley. Came on. We had the right formula, right? We had it. So yesterday, we went with the good pitching matchup. We went with the hard contact rate. We went with the high ERA. Okay, and Seattle was in a good spot yesterday. And Fraley cashed in, man. So when you can get a cash in for $2,800, and let's go, I'll tell you exactly. I think he had 16 or 18 points. I'm not sure. I actually didn't write that down for you guys, but I'll tell you right now. So he has 18 points, right, for 2,800. I mean, you can't beat that at all. That's what we're trying to do. Our baseline is 7 to 10, but if we can get you plus 10 for under $3,000, I'm telling you, man, it's there. It's absolutely there. So let's go. Let's bank right on that. Now, yesterday, the core, not so great, right? We did pick the right core guy on Atlanta. Remember, we did talk about that with Freeman. Right? We had Freddie Freeman to me. I told you I had the feeling he was going to go long yesterday, which he did. I had a feeling he was going to be the cog of that Atlanta lineup, which he was. So we got that right. Now, Jose Ramirez didn't have a good game at all for Cleveland, and Austin Meadows really let us down in Tampa Bay. But hey, 1 out of 3, at least, like I said, I'm not trying to build the lineup. I'm just trying to give you pieces for your lineup. So hopefully, can't be perfect all the time, right? So I'll still take 1 out of those 3. Not a big deal, right? Not a big deal. Now, today, let's review, because we do baseball a little quickly today because it's Sunday. Because let's DK start at 1 o'clock. Not a lot of time for people to watch the Fantasy Firebox because it is a Sunday. A lot of commitments, a lot of things going on. So I like to just do a quick overview of baseball, and then what we'll do is we'll get into some tight end talk so this could stay relevant. We can mix it up on socials like we always do in the Discord, on Twitter, whatever you want to do. But let's go right to the fantasy value play today before we share the screen. And I like this play. Again, let me just tell you something. Again, and I know Joe knows because he follows me. A lot of people know. The thing that I do is I scour down those hitters under 3,000 and I look, who's had consistent points over the last 3 or 4 games. who has a really good pitching matchup, who's sitting well on, on a team that's hitting their stride, who's in the right who's in the right hole in that lineup, whether you're batting third, fifth, sixth, who's ahead of them, and Sundays are kind of weird day. Right? Because there's a lot of breaks in the action on Sunday. What I mean by that is a lot of guys resting. And it's 9:20 in the morning. We don't even know half the guys are going to be resting today. It is a Sunday. So guys that I talk about right now may only come in and they may only have a pinch hitting performance or something like that. So I apologize for that. But again, that's why I tell you, watch this and look at it and pay attention to those 105 starts, right? So that's what we had to do. I'm going Marlins for this pick. Okay? Going Marlins for this pick. So my FVPP needs you on during the week. Joe, listen, I will tell you this. Honestly, again, Jason's been trying to get me all. They do. Listen. Ghost had me set up all week. Dave had me set up all week because JJ was on vacation. But I just had so much going on. I'm going to tell you something, guys. Listen to this. Honestly. So I do so much, but this is my love, right? And so the weekends to me are my thing because I can get up, take my time, and do my research all week. Now, during the week, I do throw the picks out. Joe knows that. A lot of people know that. I do throw some picks out. Okay, I don't go live. I don't, because I'm running a PR company, so I have a lot of publicist work that I do. But I try to at least get the picks out, and I always retweet them. So I do fantasy work for Fox Sports The Gambler, radio station in Philly. You can every day at 3:50, I drop a little 90-second vignette. I talk about 2-star pitchers. I talk about, football rankings. I talk about basketball gems. I talk about it all, right? And then I do get picks out every night between like 6 and 6:30. So, this is who I'm thinking. So, again, you never know. Joe says, Joe, you're the man, dude. I love you, man. You're awesome. Yellow bobblehead day. Oh, you know what that means in Milwaukee. When we're giving out bobbleheads, that means we're hitting the ball hard, man. I love it. Adam says other good players should be Nelson Cruz, Twins, Eduardo Escobar for the Diamondbacks. I like that. Look at that. Joe, Valdez, good pick. He's 2-0. Look at this is what I love. Look at Adam hit with the Valdez pick. I like that. Well, here you go. Here's the good value pick for today. The FVPP play of the day, which is a guy you're probably not going to expect. And I didn't expect either. But we're going to go with Isan Diaz from the Miami Marlins for $2,500. Now, I'm going to tell you why he's my pick today. Okay? You guys already brought up the Drew Smiley effect. Okay? You guys already brought up the Drew Smiley effect. Now, before yesterday, when he hit a 0, okay, he was 12,256, right? He was $3,000 and he hit you 12, which again, you know what? He's only batting 140. I get it. But this is the kind of matchup that you want against a guy like Drew Smiley. This is the kind of matchup that can get you going a little bit. Now, we're not expecting a world from Isan Diaz or Isan. We'll call him Isan. Isan, I'm not sure exactly how to say his first name, to be honest with you. I haven't watched a lot of Marlin games. But again, sometimes these names, they tongue twist me a little bit. But I'm going to do my best. Just like, listen, I'm a youth sports coach, and sometimes I get players, I'm like, I'm going to try my best not to butcher your name. I apologize if I do. But if you go back to June 1st, he has not had a below positive production game at all. Okay? He's had one, which was yesterday, okay, was a 0. So, again, he may get off I don't know. Now, he was off Thursday, so that probably could have gave him, he got the day off, so it gives him the 3 play on the weekend. So, but Isan Diaz, to me, Miami team, I think Miami's got a lot of good options today. Adam already checked in with Aguilar, right, against Drew Smiley. Drew Smiley's been hit a lot, okay? Drew Smiley's been hit an absolute ton, okay? So, if you just pull up his numbers and you look at what he's done over the number one, he has been terrible in the last 2 games. Absolutely terrible. Okay. So he's given a 0 or a 1 against the Phillies. Okay. Which was horrific. Okay. 4 innings. The game before that against Washington, 4 innings. Game before Boston, 5 innings, right? He's given up 17 hits in 3 games. Okay, 17 hits in 3 games, 13 runs in 3 games, and here's the good spot: 4 home runs in the last 3 games. Okay, this guy's going to get hit today. He's absolutely going to get hit. A 5.82 ERA. The guy, listen, Drew, I'm not telling you to hang it up, but maybe you need to go into the bullpen. So this is going to be the weak link for the Atlanta Braves today. And I really feel as though this could be a really good spot. And again, this is why I picked these guys, right? For $2,500, I don't think you can go wrong with a guy like Isan Diaz. I really don't. I like the play for $2,500. He's low risk. He's high reward, right? He's the kind of play that you want, right? And that's what I'm looking at, right? I don't just, this guy's 2,400. Let me put him in there, right? I liked Fraley yesterday because of the pitching matchup. I talked about that because Lopez gave a ton of home runs in the past 3 or 4 or 5 games. So I'm looking at that statistic. I'm looking at what they've done over the past week. And again, this isn't a guy who's 0-0-5. No, he's only had 1-0 in the last 10 games. That's a big deal for me. That means you're getting some kind of positive production at a low price at $2,500. So if you formulate your lineup the right way, you don't even have to worry about it, right? So even if he gives you a 0 today, which he won't, he's not giving you a 0. I'm going to tell you that right now. But even if he did, it's not going to kill you because you only spent $2,500. But guess what? If he gives you a 10 and the rest of your guys give you your positive points that you expect, you're going to cash in. And that's what we try to do here, right? That's what we try to do here. Now, let's go with the aces today, okay? Listen, let me share the screen like I do for you guys all the time. I don't think there's, again, I have to pay off for Rodon today, okay? I do. I think the strikeouts, again, what he's been able to do in terms of strikeouts. I mean, all you got to look at is what he's done. Look at his strikeouts, 8, 8, 10, 13, right, in the past 4 games. This is what I'm looking at. I don't care about the 5 runs against Cleveland, right? That's an anomaly, right? Because you look at 3 out of the last 4, right? You're 38, you're 30. Okay, there's your 13 and a half. But why is it 13 and a half? Because he still had 8 strikeouts, right? He still had 8 strikeouts, and he went 6 innings. So there's your 14. Remember, I tell you guys, lucky 13. Give me above 13. Now, again, for 10-1, you don't want 13, but this is the Detroit Tigers. This is the Detroit Tigers, okay? One of the top 2, 3, maybe top 3 worst offenses in all baseball, okay? They could be number 1. Who knows? I mean, honestly, Arizona's terrible. Chicago's bad. Texas, their low batting average. Seattle has a low team batting average. So I look to prey on these kind of teams. And when you get Carlos Rodon against the Chicago White Sox against the Detroit Tigers, and this is a guy who mows them down, strikeout potential. I mean, his ERA today, people, is going to go under 2. It's going to go under 2. Okay, and there's a reason why the White Sox were picked to vie for a world championship this year because of their pitching. Because their pitching is that good, right? Because Lance Lynn, right, comes over from. Listen, I remember Lance Lynn for the St. Louis Cardinals. Okay, it was good. You got Dylan. Listen. There's so many good arms on the Chicago White Sox, right? We don't even have to talk about them. They're that good. But Rodon is one of the guys. I hit Rodon on a no-hitter earlier in the year. I was really happy about that. But the strikeout potential today, double-digit strikeouts for me. So, I don't think you can get a better pitcher today at that price, to be honest with you. I'm not paying $11,000 for Bieber. I'm not. For Shane Bieber, I'm not paying $11,000. I can't trust Aaron Nola at all. I don't care what. Listen, I don't care. I mean, I would actually start Domingo Germán over Aaron Nola, to be honest with you. Now, again, I talked about yesterday. We had the Philly lineup, right? I said Segura, Harper, tons of value. Why? Nice day at Citizens Bank Park. Ball going to be flying out, and it did. Tons of hits, and it did. Right? That's the way yesterday worked. And again, today could be much of the same. But Aaron Nola has been the worst I've seen him pitch, okay, in the last 3 years during this 5-6 game stretch. So this is a problem to me. This is a problem. And I'm worried about Aaron Nola. So I would actually start, if you're looking at that game and you're looking at pitching match, I would start Germán over Aaron Nola, to be honest with you. Now, the second tier of my pitchers, you know how I always like to mix it up, and I like to drop below $9,000, right? I like to try to get a guy in there that, again, Adam brings up a good point. Shane Bieber for the Indians, 7 wins, 3 losses, 100. And you're right. They aren't. They're playing the Mariners who aren't good. You're right. You're Adam. And that's why we do this show. And this is what I love about the fan interaction. So you're right. I looked at Shane Bieber, but here's my issue. I think that Rodon gets better numbers than Bieber today, and he's cheaper. So when I look at that and I say Bieber at 11,000, Rodon at 10.2, that's an $800 savings. Okay, so for me, that's the only reason why. You're not wrong with Bieber. You're not. Okay, you're really not wrong. In Seattle, you're right. Absolutely. There's a reason why Seattle's not a very good team. They don't hit the ball well. And this could be a high strikeout game for Bieber. But I'm not comfortable with the $11,000 number. That's the only reason. I just don't like the $11,000 number. So that's why I'm fading Bieber today. And again, everybody, listen, this is why we do this. We talk about it. And sometimes you got to go with your gut, right? You just got to go with your gut. Now, my other ace is going to be Robbie Ray today. And the reason why I'm going to go Robbie Ray is if you just look at the last probably 4 or 5 games, he's got the 1 clunker against the Yankees. But he's been pretty dominant, people. He really has. His ERA has dropped considerably. Okay, except out of the last 4 games, except that and everybody has them, right? I always have those clunkers. You can't expect them to be perfect. But I'm looking at 22 strikeouts in 2 games and only 2 walks, right? That's what I'm looking at. 22 strikeouts is a lot. Okay, and even if you go down low, I mean 9, 7, 5, look, 16, 21, 30, 43 strikeouts in the last 5 games. Listen, that's almost 9 strikeouts per game. That's a big number. And Boston does strike out a lot. Now, Boston's got a good lineup, but they do strike out a lot, right? So I'm looking at this as I saved the $800 from Rodon from Bieber. Okay, I always keep thinking that Justin Bieber's on the mound every time I say. You got to remember, I have a daughter who was a Justin Bieber fan back in the day, so apologize for that reference. But sometimes it pops in your head at the inopportune times. But Shane Bieber, okay, again, 11,000. Drop 800 to get Rodon, who I think is going to give you more strikeouts. Just my hunch at 800. Take the 800, save more, and drop Robbie Ray not at 8,800, right? Under that 9,000, we saved 200. And look, 2 plus 8 is 1,000. Now we have an extra $1,000 to spend. I have an extra $1,000 to spend on a big lumber bat. So that's the way I look at this. These are the way I formulate my numbers. I'm always looking at how can I save and how can I roll that into the next tier. Right. So speaking of the next tier, and Tommy J, yes, Tommy, very expensive. And you're right, he hasn't been dominant lately. And even though he's got really good numbers, and over the last set, even against Seattle is not a good offensive team. I get it, but I can't pay that 11,000. Now I could be dead wrong, right? I could be dead wrong, but here's the thing: I think you're kind of foolproof if you start Rodon. Because if you start Rodon at 10.2 and you save that 800, I still think he's going to get you 10 strikeouts. So you're still going to get positive point production from Carlos Rodon. So I don't think it's a downgrade at all. I actually think it's a smart play. I think it's a smart play to fade Bieber and to add Rodon and save that 800. That's the way I'm looking at this thing, okay, for today. And then I can pick up, like I said, I can pick up Robbie Ray at 8,800, okay, who I usually grab a guy who's around 9,500, but use that $9,000 baseline. That's a $200 savings for a guy who just struck out 22 guys in the last 2 games. Okay, so I'm looking at K rate today. That's what I always look at. K rate and innings pitched. That's what I want. I want the lucky 13. I always do. For all my new listeners out there, when I do pitchers, I go by a number of 13. And I go, I want between innings pitched and strikeouts, I want 13 to be the baseline. That's what I'm looking at. So whether it's 8 and 5, whether the guy goes 6 innings, it strikes out 9 at 15. That's what I'm looking at as my baseline, because all the other points will formulate after and follow suit. So let's look at the core today. Now, the core are very interesting. Okay. I don't think there's a better guy right now with the bat than Vlad Guerrero Jr. Is there anybody hitting the ball harder? And I know he's had a home run in the last 2 games. And the odds are he's not going to hit a home run for the 3rd straight game. But I'm not even worried about a home run. This dude's batting 323. He's hitting the ball to all different fields. He is very well running. You know, I should say a variation of an MVP campaign for the Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, all you do, okay, is when you just look at his overall numbers. It's sickening right now. Who would have thought Vlad Guerrero Jr. would be hitting 340 right now? Let's be honest. Nobody thought he was going to be able to be a contact hitter, and I don't even know if that's going to stay. But here's what I'm noticing about Vlad. He cut the strikeouts down this year. Okay, that's the biggest thing. And I'm jumping on Vlad today as part of my core because of one reason: $5,000. And I'm going to tell you why. For some reason today, his number dropped by 100. Remember we talked about this yesterday. I look at these numbers, and again, what are they telling me? Yeah, maybe they're saying DraftKings the experts because they are the experts. That's why they're $1 million, billion-dollar business, right? We all know that. But, you know, maybe they're saying, this is a bad pitchup matchup today for Vlad. Maybe he's been hot for 2 games in a row. Today's going to be his day where he cools down. I'm riding the wave, man. I don't care. I'm jumping on that number for 5,000. I think it's a really good value for your core. Is he going to hit a home run? I don't know, right? But I don't think he has to hit a home run, right? I really don't. I think if he knocks in a couple runs, hits a double, and here's the thing. He's hitting the ball from all sides of the plate. He's hitting the ball to all areas of the field. He's batting 338 for a reason, okay? He's walking a lot. I mean, look at his walks, right? 2, 3, 6, 12 walks in 5 games, right? So he's getting that treatment, that power hitting superstar treatment. And if he continues to make pitchers make mistakes, and not only make them make mistakes, but make them pay for their mistakes, he's going to continue to be one of the guys that I put in my core. Okay, I don't think there's another way around it. I really don't. Vladdy Daddy, yeah, man. Listen, Vlad, and again, Vlad, Mr. Guerrero, no. Listen, no batting gloves, Vlad. I'm going to call Montreal Expos Vlad. I don't want Angels Vlad. I'm Montreal Expos Vlad, right? Again. And here's another good point by Joe with all the weight loss. Yes, that's a great point because Joe, you know who couldn't do that? Prince Fielder, right? So when Vlad came into the league, I kept thinking Prince Fielder, right? And I kept thinking, you know what? Is he going to be able to make that turn, right? Because Prince Fielder could have been unbelievable for a lot longer than he was if he was able to take care of his body, but he didn't, right? Prince Fielder did not take care of his body. Vlad, what he did, absolutely. He, and don't think for a second that wasn't his dad in his ear. Like, yo, kid, listen, if you want to make it big, you want to continue to roll, you need to work on that weight. And that's what he did. Great offseason regimen. Obviously, these guys are paying a ton of money so they can afford it. That's why I'm still built the way I am and not like that. Right? But at the end of the day, it has helped tremendously. You're right with his hips and swinging. So he's been able to get, and again, a lot of people don't realize that, if your hips are big and you got that big belly and all that weight, you can't turn on that inside pitch. You can't open up your hips. And that's what he's been able to do now. Because again, they were pitching them inside, right? So now when they pitch them inside, he's able to open up more, okay, and get those wrists quick and get all that power on the backside and hit that ball out. So that's a great point, Joe. I forgot all about that. You're right. Yes, Prince ate himself out of the league just like Eddie Lacy in football. Adam says Chris Bassett, Oakland 62 record, 80. I love Chris Bassett today. I like Chris Bassett too. I do. He was one of my 2-star pitchers this week. He was exceptional in his first start. I think he'll be exceptional, again today. I do. I like Bassett a lot. Again, he's always been a good pitcher when you look at the K rates, right? I think Oakland, again, I can't say enough, the homegrown talent that Oakland grows. I mean, between the A's and the Marlins, you could go around the league and look at so many of those ex-players. It's crazy. Even the Pirates, which is crazy, right? But Jason checking in says, Brian Reynolds, another excellent value play today. I like that. I like that play, Brian Reynolds, because he listen, Reynolds has had a really good I would say 10 days. You know what I mean? A really good 10 days. So we're going to, you know what? I didn't have him on my value chart, but I'm going to have to put him up there. Right? I'm absolutely going to have to put him up there because let's put him in there so we can at least see, his numbers right there because he's got a good pitching matchup today. And for $3,000, listen, you're right, man. That's a great find. Listen, I forgot all about Brian Reynolds because I wasn't looking at the Pittsburgh-Milwaukee game. Right? There you go, Jason. Great find. There you go. If everybody's watching, you're listening right now, Brian Reynolds, $3,000. Excellent value play today. I thank you for that because that one completely missed my mind. Because, again, I wasn't even looking at that Pittsburgh-Milwaukee game. So, and I should have been. I should have been. You're absolutely right. And before we move on, I don't know if I have any Curb Your Enthusiasm fans, but when I look at the pitching matchup today and I see a guy with the last name of Funkhauser, I get excited because that brings up Mr. Marty Funkhauser, okay, from Curb Your Enthusiasm, one of my favorite shows ever, okay? Can't wait to see the new season, but Marty Funkhauser is pitching today. He's for the Detroit Tigers. Okay, so get your White Sox in the lineup. Okay, get your White Sox in the lineup because Marty Funkhauser is pitching. So, yeah, Brian Reynolds, man, great call. I like that. I'm going to have to throw him in there too. I mean, 3,000 on, exactly, 3,000 on DraftKings. It's ridiculous, right? I mean, and again, these are, let me pull him up again because you're right. Let me pull him up again. Because again, I don't understand why a guy is so cheap. Hold on. When you look at, we always look at this. Look at 14, 6, 16, 3, and 16. So this is what I don't understand. And this is why I'm glad you brought this up, Jason, because this is looking at the numbers and pouncing on a value. Right? So he is not moved from 3,000 to 2,900, right? He's going back and forth, 2,900, 3,000, 2,900, 3,000, even after 3 double-digit performances out of the last 5. That's what I don't understand. He's only struck out 2 times. That's another thing. You're looking, he's got a .902 OPS, and he's got almost a 290 average, right? So he's hitting for contact. That's the crazy part. And he doesn't strike out a ton. 4 walks in the last 5. So a tremendous value. That's a really good find. I completely missed Brian Reynolds. I know I seen him a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago. I didn't pull the trigger. I think it was against the Dodgers. I just didn't like. But when you go 2 double-digit performances out of 3 games against the Dodgers, against their pitchers, you're doing something good. So that's a great call. That's a great call. I'm going to keep my eye on Mr. Brian Reynolds, man. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. My Giants today, lefties. Oh, Joe Ross stinks. I love Joe Ross. Absolutely stinks. Okay, so yes, throw the Giants. I don't even care if they're right. I know lefties got better numbers, but Brian, I don't even care. Just throw them stiffs in there. Doesn't matter because Joe Ross just gives up long balls all day long, man. All day long. Auto locking my boy Chisholm. Again, he's a Miami guy. Chisholm has been really good. He's been really good. There's a lot of good plays for Miami. And again, for everybody checking in now, okay, don't forget, Isan Diaz, 2,500, fantasy Firebox value play today. Check him out. He low risk, high reward. That's all I'm saying. Low risk, high reward. Check him out. I think you will not be disappointed today. And even if, listen, again, 2,500, come on, man. Right? Let's get back to this core. Again, Vlad, we talked about. He's definitely in the core. Jose Altuve. Again, I don't want to get into a big talk about the steroid thing, right? And about the cheating scandal, and just cheating in sports in general. This is a fantasy show. I don't care. Okay. All I know is my boy Jose Altuve has been putting the skeptics to rest a little bit. Okay. Now, I know Minnesota, yesterday against Minnesota, they kind of all bombed out, right? That's okay. And again, I was on Carlos Correa a couple weeks ago because he was at one point down to 4,100. So I thought he was a great play. I think today he's up to 4,700, and I like Correa as well. But listen, they're not going to stay down for more than one game. It happens, okay? It just happens. We talk about that, but look what he's done over the past 3 before that 0. Okay, 14, 17, 18. Jose Altuve is on a mission. He's on a mission. You don't think his pride was hurt a little bit? Like, honestly, with that whole scandal and everything happened, you don't think for 1 minute that his pride was hurt, right? So, and Michael Pineda, listen, with all due respect, this is a guy we thought was going to be really good. And I'll be honest with you, he gives you, every now and then, he gives you a decent performance. Now, he had a nice 3-game streak going, but again, Texas, Baltimore, he did White Sox, but again, we're not going to talk about 13 points, 15 points, but this is what I'm looking at when I'm looking at Pineda, is the ERA, is the earned runs. Okay, 7, 8, 11, 50. I mean, come on, man. 13 runs in 5 games. I mean, look at his hits allowed. He barely hits 5 innings, a couple sixes in there. Listen, this is a day for Houston to get back on track. Okay, Pineda is all over the place. I mean, you can just tell. Look at his pitch counts. Right? He was going good for a little bit, 87, 101, 53, 76, right? He's just all over the place. He's very inconsistent. He's wild. This could absolutely not only be like a Michael Pineda game for the first 4 innings and then a bullpen game after that for Minnesota. So I think this is another good Houston day. I have a couple Houston value plays later on, but for my core with Altuve, bounce back today. He's in my core. And last guy in my core is I'm going to pounce on the Reds hitters today, and we're going to go Castellanos again. And this is another guy with Nick who's starting to finally come back. Remember, he started off real hot, and then his value, he was down to 3,900 at one point. Right, he was down to 3,900 at one point. So again, now he's at 5,200, and deservingly so. Deservingly so. It's a multi-hit guy. Okay, he look 2-2-2. He multi-hit games all the time. He doesn't strike out a ton. His average back up to 362. I mean, come on, people. What else do you want? Playing against Colorado. Okay, listen. This is a Castellanos game to me. It really is. And again, look at the pitcher matchup. That's all I gotta say. Antonio is not scaring me at all. He's not. Senzatella. Antonio Senzatella, right? I'm sorry. That name does not scare me now, but for all, honestly, just looking at the numbers, he doesn't scare me at all, right? When I look at a guy who's given up a ton of earned runs, and I know it's only one, but I'm looking at over a 5-game span. All right. Besides the last game against Miami, look at Arizona, who stinks. He can only muster 3 strikeouts. Texas, high strikeout rate, only muster 3 strikeouts. So I'm going in with the Reds today, and I'm going with Castellanos. So my core for today is Vlad, Altuve, and Castellanos. So let me get back to the comments here. Yeah, absolutely. Korea, absolutely. That's why I said, and he's low. And he's low. Brian, I'm sorry. Why am I just... Yo, Brian, here's the thing. I just joined. Just give you a little background. So anybody checking in right now, I just joined Win Daily Sports in May. So I start doing Fantasy Firebox is a show that I would do on my own network, which is called Heat Ratio Sports Network. So I would do that, but it wasn't consistent enough. I wanted to get into a really hardcore fantasy-centric community. So Jason, the leader of Win Daily Sports, contacted me. We talked and was like, hey, how do we get you on here? So I was like, yo, I'm in. Honestly, I love it. I like the weekend. So every Saturday and Sunday between 9 and 9:15, we go live, Fantasy Firebox, go about an hour. We're talking baseball, basketball, football. We do a little football previews, and eventually it'll be all football, right? Because football will be starting. But yeah, the live vids every week, and then they'll be on YouTube as well. You get me on. I'm not a big Discord guy. I got to get better on that. I apologize. Got to get better on Discord. I really do. So, Brian, thanks for checking in, man. I appreciate it. 3 home runs. Listen, Carlos Correa. Now you see this, right? You see Carlos Correa is one of the guys I'm looking at, right? So absolutely, I'm looking at that Houston team. So I like Houston. I like Correa today. Again, it's only 4,700. He's below 5,000, right? I just didn't want to put him in my core because I didn't want to have two Astros in my core. But I think that's a great point. Correa, longevity. What over probably the past? I think he's been like the past 5 games. He's finally he started off slow. Right? Started off slow. And again, I'm not worried about the 0 because that's helped us out. That's taken the $5,200 number and dropped it to $5,700. So they just saved us $500 to add to a bat later, right? They just saved us that kind of money. So I will take that every day of the week, say thank you, DraftKings, and I'm in. They finally put respect on. Listen, man, that's the thing. Castellanos, Brian, and I was riding him because he was so low. He got there again, 3,900, and he started off in the 5s, and then they were dropping him like $500 a clip. Man, I didn't understand it, so I just kept playing him, and I'm going to continue to play him. Right? He was way too low over the week. It's crazy. Now he's up to 5,200. But here's the thing: if he had a bad game, they'll drop him in like 45, which I don't understand. Joe says India, Winker, and Castellanos load him up. Oh yeah, Winker's 5,900 though. Listen, I like Jesse Winker, but 5,900, I couldn't pull the trigger, Joe. I just couldn't pull the trigger. I hope he proves me wrong, but 5,900 was a ton of cash, man. I was just like, and Jonathan India now is up to 4,600. Again, I'll tell you what, Joe, I think you know this as well as I do. These FVPPs that we play, these fancy Firebox value plays, every single one of them. We had Jonathan Shoot when he was 2,500, now he's up to $4,000. We had Jonathan India. We picked him when he was 2,600, and now he's up to what? 4,600. Yesterday, Jake Fraley at 20. He's still at 2,900. So why not start? And today, Isan Diaz is going to prove us all to cash in at 2,500. You watch for that play today. Brian, absolutely, man. Jason's the man. Absolutely. Any catchers today, Adam wants to know. And you know I'm not a big catcher guy, but here's what I will say, Adam. Here's what I will say. I'm saying right now, that I'm just going to stick with the Reds for my catcher. Okay? I am. And this is why. I'm going to go Tucker Barnhart. Because, again, catchers are funny, right? I don't pay up for catchers, but look at the positive point production that we're getting for Barnhart. And today, against a really good pitching matchup against Colorado, even though it's home at Great American Ballpark, still the balls like to fly out of there as well. I think Tucker Barnhart is a very good candidate for what is it? Our list of going long for under 4,000. I like it. Tucker Barnhart is on the candidates of going long for 4,000 a day, and he's a catcher, so I absolutely love it. Now, I see a lot of guys. Joe says Fraley going to be, yeah, exactly. Like all of a sudden now, it's because we on the Fantasy Firebox. I think DraftKings is watching it, and like, okay, whoever these Firebox guys are, bam, we got to up their value because we're hitting them. We are hitting them. Okay, Mountcastle was 2,800 when we started. Now he's at like 3,700, right? From Baltimore. So we're hitting them hard, man, and we're going to keep hitting them hard with these value plays. Brian says, speaking of value, Brantley and Tucker. You know what's funny, Brian? Me and you are on the same page. Look at this. And this is my pre-show work, okay? Right here. Look at what I got. Astros value. Tucker and Brantley. Are you kidding me? Brantley's at 3,200 today. 3,200 today. Okay, that's unheard of. That is unheard. Why? Why is he only at 3,200? How do you not start Michael Brantley? Right? Look. I mean, again, against Pineda. Are you kidding me? Kyle Tucker, 3,400. So for 6,600, see, this is why. When I look at a guy like Jesse Winker, even though I know he's on the Reds and I know it's a stackable team today, against that pitching, against the pitching matchup. I look at that $6,000 number and I'm like, okay, for 6,600, I get two guys will probably give me more points. I'm like back and forth, right? But Michael Brantley, talking about positive point production, right? You kidding me? 5-7, 13, 18, 4, and he gets a $3,200 number? Give me that all day long. Listen, in May 23rd, 2 weeks ago, he was 5,000. Are you kidding me? So now you're getting this guy who's got that potential 3,200. How do you not jump on that? And Kyle Tucker, right? Again, this young kid, he just knows how to play. He got 3 double-digit point totals in the last 5. And what do? They drop his number. Are you kidding? The 3,400 against Michael Pineda. So that absolutely, I love it. I love it, man, because that was the first thing I had. Brantley, exactly. Brantley 3,200. Tucker, land. I mean, come on, man. You got to get those guys in the lineup. Absolutely. So let me get, man, I'm losing my voice, man. I'm getting all excited. I'll give you some, here's some Marlins value today. Sterling Marte, who 32 years old, has come back from all the substance abuse issues, and he's really been absolutely, positive in all phases of the game, right? All phases of the game. So Marte has been really good. And Adam Duvall, right? Again, this is a Drew Smiley game, right? And I don't mean that in a good way. I don't mean that in a good way. I'm pouncing on the Marlins today, right? And I'm looking at, again, the pot. So Chisholm, right? 4,800. I know it was mentioned earlier. Is a good play. He's under 5,000. I like that play. Aguilar at 3,900 got up a little high, but still good play. Corey Dickerson 3,700. That's not bad. John Birdsey could be a value play at 3,600. Okay, but when you go down, you look at Adam Duvall for me at 3,800 is another guy, another candidate for going long. Under 4,000. He's got 3 home runs in the past 5 games. His number sits at 3,800. He's 4 double-digit point games out of the last 5. And for me, for my money, I look at that and I'm ready to pounce. So I think Adam Duvall is a really good value play today. And Sterling Marte. The reason why I have Sterling Marte up here, okay, or Starling. I'm sorry. The reason why I have Sterling Marte up here is look at what he's done since he's come back. And now his numbers drop. I mean, you're talking 49, 51. Now he's at 4,500 against a really bad pitcher, against a really good matchup. And he's got 3 double-digit gains out of the past 5. Positive point production, right? Only struck out 2 times in 5 games. Listen, he's scoring runs at will. He's been a cog in the 3rd spot of that lineup for the Marlins, and I think this is a really good day today for him. So for a lot of Marlin value. This is why I pounced on G. This honestly, this could be yesterday. We had the Philly value of Harper at 4,700 and Segura at 3,900. I think this kind of reigns in the same light. Okay, I think it's a really good value, right? And there's a good stat, right? Marte, Aguilar, Duvall. It's a really good 3-play stack. So Adam says Philly. Adam, we had that yesterday. Could be the same today, right? Really could. Look at this. Pineda throws slider, throwing a lefties will kill that pitch. That's a really good hit. I like that 100%. Just go. Look at this. Look at Brian's already. And again, just so you know, Brian's, everybody watching. See this. This isn't my lineup. Okay, just so everybody knows. That's why you have. So what I do is, this is an old account. It's a little parody account. What I do is I create it. I mess around. I do some props on here, things of that nature. So I use that account for this show specifically just to throw my guys in there so I can show you guys the numbers I'm looking at, right? That's why you see minus 3,900. But look at that. Castellanos, Tucker, Brantley, with Altuve and Vlad, with Ray and Rodon still have $8,900 left, right? So let's do that. Let's do that. I like this. Okay? Because we got about 10 minutes left. So let's do this. So we're going to keep Robbie right. We got Vlad, Altuve, Castellanos. Let me take, I like this. This is going to be fun. So this is going to be fun. First time ever. Look, new listener, first time ever. We're going to throw this lineup in right now. Let's see what we got. See how we do this. So we're going to put Brantley and Tucker in there because that's what we got. Right? So what we got here. So he says, yeah. Oh, I just loved your core, bro. I love it. No, yeah, Brian, absolutely. This is fun, man. This is why I love this shit. You kidding me? So let's go. We got Tucker and we got Brantley. Look at that. We got Tucker, Brantley. So I gotta have my value play in there, right? You got Altuve. Look at that. Altuve, Vlad. And let's take Barnhart out there for a minute. Let's see what we got. Yeah. So if I take, you're right. So if I take my boy Diaz out of there, we're 8,900 left. Now, I like Diaz today as my fantasy value play. Okay. So fantasy Firebox value play today for me. But $8,900. This is a really good look. Look at this. Look at this lineup right here. Castellanos, Brantley, Tucker, Altuve, Vlad. Man, let me tell you. And again, dude, I might have to play a lineup like this today. I really do, because these are some really good stacking options. I'm gonna throw my value play in there, Mr. Diaz at 2,500, right? And it still gives me 6,400 left. So, just look at the shortstop position at 6,400. We got a lot. Listen, we can go Chisholm Jr. Okay, get that Miami connection going in there. Look at that. 1,600, but now we're really going bargain based on the catcher, right? So maybe we got to drop down a little bit. Let's see who we can throw in there. I like this. I like this, man. Brian cashing in for sure. Yeah, man, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Look, he said, because I was on those. I love it. It's great. We're all on those same kind of teams, right? Because, and again, I'll tell you what, Lay Claim and Brian, I'm sure you're a Win Daily guy. Brian Tulloch, shout out. Tulloch is the man. And that's how Win Daily got on my radar, to be honest with you, because I was in the analyst league for football and baseball, and Brian was in that league as well. And I really, really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. So it brought me into the Win Daily team, which thank you, Jason, again, because this is so much fun. So let's do this. Because we got a couple minutes left. I got to go do some landscape because the wife is kicking my ass. Again, let's do a couple sleepers. Okay. But here's a simulation of a lineup, right? And this is between Brian, my core. Brian's got some picks in there. I love it. Give you a nice shortstop. If you could pick a good shortstop today, okay, you throw them in there. And then again, depending on, what happens. I mean, Rosario could be a good pick today. Okay. I'm at Rosario for Cleveland. Honestly, he could be a good pick today. I had him the other day against Gilbert. I think it's a really good pitch out matchup for him. Polanco really, again, he's a all-around good player, 5-tool guy. He could do it all. He's got 30 and 24 at 2 of the last 3. I mean, this guy, and his number just dropped to 4,300, right? And he's going up again. He's on the other side of the Pineda factor. He's actually playing behind Pineda against Houston, but again, that could be a decent matchup to look at because I'm not really scared about Valdez, especially from the left-hand side. You could jump on Francisco Lindor, hope that he has another good game against Chris Paddock. We'll see. But I'll leave that up to you guys, okay? But let's go value. Just a hint. I got so you do have Barnharts. Let me put them back in there. Let me put them back in there. I like this. All right, because we're going to be done in them. A couple values, then we're going to be done here. So let's put Barnhart back in there. I like this. So let's find a shortstop for 2,700. Let's find a shortstop for 2,700. Okay, let's see if we can find it. See, we can just throw somebody in there, man. Let's throw somebody in there just for some fun, man. This is for some fun. Okay. Look at the pitch and matchups. Let's look at who we have. See you guys, while I give you guys my value play. See if you guys get that shortstop in there and see what we can find right there, because I think it'll be fun. Tulloch is the man, right? Absolutely. Nice job, Tony. Joe, thank you, my man. I appreciate it. And I have $200 left over. Mini stack. Yo, I love this. I love it. Brian, I can't wait to hear how this worked out for you today, boss. I love it. So here's a couple sleepers today I got before we get out of here, because this has been fun. We're going to get out of here in a minute. Okay. Andujar, for me, I was on him. He was another guy. FFVP play of the day. Couple nights ago, gave us our 10 points for, I think it was 2,600. Okay. Again, this is a big boy. This is a big boy for the Yankees, right? So this is what I like. So again, even though Aaron Nola has been inconsistent, we talked about him, okay? We already talked about him. But the thing I like about Andujar is he is hitting with power and he's hitting for contact, right? So it's very rare you get a big guy like that who gets up there. He's batting over that 250 line, which is one of the power hitting Mendoza line, like below a high. So, but he's got 3 multi-hit games in the past 5. He's going up against Aaron Nola in a really good ballpark to hit, and Aaron Nola has been mildly inconsistent. We jumped on Andujar when he had, against Minnesota when he had 23. So at 2,300, he was the FFVP of the day, gave us 23 points. I'm not saying he's the FFVP because that is Isan Diaz, but today for Andujar, I think for 3,000, he gives you double-digit points. I think he's a sleeper, really good value. Okay, and then we're going to go with Kyle Farmer. Okay, Kyle Farmer, another sleeper today, and I'm going to tell you why. He goes with that Cincinnati Red stack, right? And again, but if you look at what he's done over the past 3 games, he's got 27 points in 3 games. It's 9 points a game, which is between that 7 and 10 baseline. Now, his number is 3,300, right? His number is 3,300. But again, he's not our fantasy Firebox value play. He's just a sleeper. I think today will be a day where he actually could go long today. Go long for under 4,000. So he could be another value. Under 4,000, we have Adam Duvall for under 4,000. We got Tucker Barnhart for under 4,000. And we got Kyle Farmer for under 4,000 to go long. So I like those 2 guys as sleeper plays. But listen, we didn't get into the tight ends. Okay, but that's okay. We'll do that next week. We'll roll that into next week. Brian, Twitter at Cutillo23. You follow me at Cutillo23 on Twitter. Find me there. I'm mainly on Twitter. I got to get better at Discord. Discord name is Jigsaw, man. It's going to be Jigsaw. So my Tony Jigsaw Cutillo, I get the nickname Jigsaw because I'm fiery. I'm in your face. I like the heat. That's why I started heat ratio. Brian says, BS, go Eagles. Absolutely. Tom, just getting out of here. Money misses. What are your thoughts on Valdez? Seems way too cheap. Make it easy for you here. Let me see. And then we'll throw it up because I honestly didn't have him in anything right now. So Frankie Valdez for Houston going up Minnesota. Listen, I know a lot of people are afraid of Valdez because of the decay potential, which I like, right? So he does at 8,200. I went with Robbie Ray at 8,800. Because I took the extra 600 because I saved from Bieber to Rodon at 800. So I kind of parlayed that into Robbie Ray. Again, just not a huge sample size for me, but I think it'd be a really good sleeper right here. I think it is cheap. When you look at 33 and 30, okay, you look at 10 and 8, 18 strikeouts. He's only given up 1 earned run. He's going 7 innings. I'll tell you what, he's another really good play. So technically, I would actually put him in as my 3rd guy, okay, under Robbie Ray. Actually, he could be my number 2 guy and save me another 600. So I really like Valdez today. He was a guy. I went Robbie Ray just because I have a bigger sample size, but Valdez is a really good play. Again, I'm going to get out of here. Great show, Tony. We're all fired up on Sunday catching. Adam, absolutely, as always, the Prince. Again, what's your Twitter handle again? At Cutillo23. At Cutillo23 is my handle. I should get that up there just so everybody knows. Let me see real fast before I get out of here. Let me stop sharing the screen. I will. Hold on. Let me get this in here for you guys. I usually have this, right? But I didn't have it. I'll fix it for next week. So at Cutillo23 on Twitter, and on Discord you can find me at Jigsaw. I'm actually Jigsaw on Twitter, Jigsaw2944 on Twitter. So at Cutillo23 on Twitter, Win Daily Sports on Twitter. As always, I'll put it in the comment right here just so everybody has it. Cutillo23. There we go. Give me a follow. That's a Twitter handle. I'll get that up next week. But everybody, enjoy your Sunday, man. Get outside. Enjoy the weather. I'm going to do my honeydew list now. Get ready to watch some baseball later and get ready for my basketball show later tonight, Half Court Heat on Heat Ratio Sports. So check me out as always. So again, like I always say here on the Fantasy Firebox, another great weekend, another great fun. I appreciate everybody checking in. Hit that subscription button. See you on Twitter. See you on Discord. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you next weekend.